Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here again with my old Harbor Freight 90-degree angle die grinder. Did a review of this thing probably a year, maybe even 2 years ago. I'll link for you right up there and down in the description if you want. You can go check it out and see my thoughts about it. The short version is pretty good. Before we go any further, someone also asked me how this thing was holding up now. So this will be the video covering that. The answer is pretty much the same as it was, I think, about 2 years ago when I recorded the initial review of it. So 16 years old, still doing what it's doing. Recently, I had a comment on that video that said, hey, get yourself a needle attachment and put some grease up here in the head through that ball. It's like, yeah, I saw that thing there, but haven't really maintained it before now. Why would I start? But it started gnawing on me, and it's like, yeah, okay, fine. I've got a needle attachment. I had one of these things for years. Never really had a use for it. Until now, it's like, well, okay, fine. So I got it out of the package. Went to push the ball in to see how this is kind of going to work. And when I push the ball in, it just stays right there. It had some friction to it the first time I hit it, but I think maybe there's a spring or something in there that just broke. It does still turn okay. If I flip her over and give it a whack on the bench, the ball will pop back out. So, yeah, okay. How much worse could I possibly make it from this point if I attempt to put some grease in it? So at least in my grease gun, this adapter kind of locks in, and I don't think that's working. So I got her set up in the vise now just so I can tinker with angle or something a little more. I still don't think it's going to do anything. I think it's going to just shoot grease around. I think maybe it's taking a little grease right there. Or the gun's empty. No. It was building up pressure between the gun and the needle. So yeah, this totally is not working out for me. Could be that I've got the wrong kind of needle. Good God, what a mess I've made. Yeah, this is just a monumental mess. Could be them using the wrong kind of needle. I don't think anything's going to save it from having that ball permanently compressed now. So I'm going to look around and see if there's some other kind of grease needle that's actually more like that diameter that should work. But I think this one's cooked anyway. All the same, you can probably hear her. All the same, the next time I put together a Harbor Freight order, I think I'm going to order about 3 more of these because they're so cheap and it just saves me the time of having to change heads because I reach for these things all the time. So let's see if I can find a different injector and we'll catch back up. And find another needle adapter is in fact what I did. Spoiler alert, it's actually been several weeks between what you just saw a moment ago and right now. I've used this guy a ton more, and that ball is still just kind of depressing itself, so I don't think anything we're going to do is going to be that big of an improvement. But whatever. Also, in a nearly unprecedented move, I actually referred to the owner's manual in this thing, and it's calling for white lithium grease up here, which actually costs more for me to buy than I paid for the tool. So we're definitely not doing that today. If I do end up in the situation where I have an army of new ones, then I'll probably start maintaining them properly with the proper grease. But if it wasn't clear before, here is the needle I was just trying a moment ago, and it is very much literally a needle. This guy is actually just for basically that type of grease fitting, I think. That's a pretty good example of the difference between the two. So let's grab the grease gun, pump that guy full of wheel bearing grease, that's what I run on everything, and we'll see what happens. And you will see this is a Lock and Lube brand. It should actually lock on to my grease gun. So I'm hoping it is not like infinite mess. Feels good. Will it unlock and lube is the next question, but I guess we'll find out. And it immediately unlocked when I sat it down, so another thing I'm not reading the instructions on. So I'm not going to blame it. I am able to push grease. I don't know if it's going in there or not. I kind of suspect it's doing the same thing the last one just did. Just building pressure in the needle. Sounds 100% the same as it did. I'm going to clamp it in a little better. See if I can apply some pressure to it. It's pumping pretty hard. I bet when I let this go, grease shoots out. Maybe not. Maybe we're doing some good. I can see it bypassing some, but I gotta think it's taken some as well. Oh yeah, sounds much less like a bag of rocks. It is definitely stiffer because it's wheel bearing grease, axle grease, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's got lube in it now. So that did work. The ball is still submerged. This did not actually seem to lock, but that's probably a me thing. I won't blame it because, again, referred to no instructions whatsoever. And if I wanted to, I could, of course, just replace the end on the gun with this one, which when I switch off to lithium grease and set up a lithium grease gun, that is probably what I will do, is I'll probably just leave one of these needles on it. And I can tell this thing gained some weight too. It's full of grease now. Fun, goofy little things. But now I have both of them to choose from for my future grease needling projects, which seems to happen almost never. Although, I think twice in a month now. Time to see if she still spins over with the youthful vigor that I'm used to. Oh yeah. Oh, it's blasting grease right out of the front of it too. and out of the hole. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a monumental mess. Let's undo some of that. I'm gonna go ahead and not blame this on the tool because this thing is whipped. Just gonna put a paper towel around it and see if I can just kind of run it a little and catch the grease. Oh yeah, it's still shooting all that grease out. It is doing it with all the speed it ever had though. Yeah, and it sounds like a bag of gravel again. Hold it up to the mic for you. Yeah, any kind of grease seal or anything this thing ever had has likely exited the program many years ago. I think you can see in there, there's just a wide open hole between the body and the tool, or the drive shaft, or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That commenter's advice was probably good advice for me to take like 15 years ago. So I hope you guys have enjoyed my attempted maintenancing here and 16-year tool update video. As always, I want to thank you guys for stopping in. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm Max, that's Saddington Bear, and we make videos like this all the time. Here are a couple links to some other videos we've made, and we really appreciate you guys stopping in.